So part 3 of 3. Today we are doing door panels and speakers. Like I said, there's really nothing wrong with these. The front ones are slightly faded at the top, like right in there, but overall they're not cracked or tore or anything. It's just I got a really good deal on everything with the interior. So I'll show you the speakers here in a minute, and then I got 6.5s all the way around. I think the fronts are factory 6x9s. It's just what Crutchfield had. They give you an adapter kit. They give you a wiring harness for it, so you don't have to cut anything. Let me unbox that real quick. I'll show you what I got for the front and rears of this. All right, so this is what I ended up getting for the front and the rear. They're the same exact size. This is the adapter plate that I was telling you about. Basically, it just bolts in there, and then this bolts into the factory location. Looks like it has all the hardware and everything for it. And then this is the speaker harness. That way you don't have to cut your factory harness. And if you ever want to take these out, which I'm not, you can always plug the original ones back in. But same thing with the rears. The only thing with the rear is I'm pretty sure from what I've read online, you have to make your own holes in the door because the factory speaker has like a triangle shape, and of course this is more of a box shape for the mounting holes. So I'm gonna get the door panels all cleaned up first, and then get them thrown, or pull the old ones, and then we'll install the speakers. So I'm not gonna show every single door panel, but as you could tell, it's just gross. Really, those are about the only imperfections that are on the door, and hopefully, I'm thinking the window switch should cover it, but I mean, as you can tell, it's just a truck. Like I said, this one is probably the worst shape of them all, but like it just needs cleaned up. And then of course, on the back side, I don't even know how it got that gross, but at the bottom, I'm gonna wipe all this down because that probably is gonna smell. So I'm gonna wipe them down, and then we'll install the door speakers. Okay, so on the door panel, as you can tell, this one's off. The door, behind the door handle, there is a 10mm screw, and then there's going to be a screw up top here and 2 at the bottom. Mine was missing the 2 at the bottom. Also, there's one last Phillips behind here, but here's the speaker. It's only held on with Phillips screws. It should pop out. Just unhook the connector behind it, and then you can plug in the adapter harness that Crutchfield gives you. And you'll have to screw in the adapter plate so the 6.5 fits, because like I said, this is 6x9. I've seen a couple different ways of doing this. See the silver plate around here? You could separate this from the speaker, and you can actually use that if you have a set of 6x9s laying around. You can use that adapter plate on a new one, and you can just screw it back in like the original style. I didn't have 6x9s laying around, and that's what Crutchfield recommended. So the adapter plate was free anyway, and I'm sure anything's going to sound better than these. All right, I got this speaker mounted up. Not a fan of the mount. I'll be honest, if I could have went back and did it again, I probably would have just got a 6x9 and took the original adapter plate off, but it is what it is. I did try the speaker out. I'm not going to play any music on it, but I will say this. I don't know about bass-wise, because until I can get all the rest of them in, but I will say it's a whole lot clearer than the other front speaker. The other one's really distorted, and like I said, I'll be able to tell once all the speakers are in and the door panels are back on, and I can mess with the, the bass and stuff a little bit to see how it is. But either way, I mean, even if it's not that much better, it's still clear, and you can hear the music louder. So I'm going to put the door panel back on. I'll show you what this one looks like once it's all armor-alled up. So got the back off. I know I said you might possibly have to drill a hole in this. You do not, at least for this speaker. I was able to make the holes work. Not exactly a fan of it, but I mean, it's mounted. It's not going anywhere. So same thing with the front. You just use the harness. But whenever you do that, there is the little pins that they go on. Be careful with those, because those are pretty delicate. And then also you want to make sure you mount the speaker in a way that the power door lock doesn't interfere with it. So it is pretty close to there, but it's not going to affect anything. I noticed with this door, there's only one screw right behind the door handle, and then the door handle itself comes off with a 10mm. I do think the rear is a whole lot easier to take off than the front. And with the front, I've learned that if you put the door has these like holes in it, and they have clips that kind of like go down in there, and that's what holds the door panel on. I learned with the front one that if you start with the bottom and work your way up, and just be careful whenever you put the top into this, around this piece of trim here, that it works out a whole lot better. So I will say this, these speakers are way better than the stock. I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on them, but compared to what was in here, they are such a difference that it's not even funny. So I'm going to get the door panel put back on this side. I'll show you what both of them look like, and then I'm not going to show you the other side, but I will show you it once it's done. I'll pull it out and make sure I didn't miss any spot with armor on it or anything. So far, pretty easy job, way easier than the seats, of course. All right, everything is put together. All 4 speakers are back in, and the door panels are all cleaned up. Since I've had this truck, it's almost been a year, the passenger side mirror hasn't worked, and I never really got a chance to dig into it. And I guess whenever the truck was painted in 20, they forgot to plug the mirror back in. So, I mean, I guess that's a perk of putting door panels on, but I didn't know the top part of the front ones are soft touch, which is nice. It just looks better, feels better, but everything's all back together. And well, hold on. There's the finished product of them. Like I said, they are not perfect. There's a couple of marks on it, but I can live with it. This is one of the main reasons why I wanted to clean them up before I went in. This is the water that came from just the door panels. I found dog hair behind it. I think they were a smoker, which is weird. Nothing smells like it, but I mean, that's the price you pay for used stuff. So this wraps up this part of the interior mods. Like I said, this coming week, there is a mod that I have to send the truck away. It's actually going to Delaware. That'll be your clue for it. I have boost auto mirrors that need put on, and then maybe down the road I need to get a turbo eventually, but I'm not sure where this is going. After this next mod that's coming up in Delaware, it's gonna not get anything for a while. It's eating up a lot of my money. So till then, subscribe, like, comment on these if you think they look better, worse, whatever you think. And then we'll go from there.